ninth session of urban governance includes urban environment, climate change, quality of life and poverty. Role of inclusive city is very important. Basically, optimum use of economies of scale for national development is the purpose behind inclusive city. All the resources available in the city should be used properly. Placing city in the center of globalization as a link with hinterland is another important focus. Creating citizen centricity in the urban governance is inclusive city. Determine public policies on urban development accordingly. Address poverty, gender equity, climate change, livelihood and inequality are the focus areas which match the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. 11 out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals meet the actions or require the actions towards inclusive city. The UN Sustainable Development Goals provided basis for Habitat 3, which is UN agenda on urban development and inclusive city. This specifies that the current model of urbanization, which has high element of slums, poor access of services, low standard housing will not work. There are barriers in the development of inclusive city. One important barrier is over concentration and unplanned growth of our cities, diagonal divide in urban growth or the regional imbalance in urban growth, multi-dimensional poverty. It is not only in terms of income, in terms of access to house, to basic services, etc., should also be covered under the focus on inclusive city. Concentration of city governance in town hall, that is further decentralization of governance in the city. Exclusion in planning and management, the people excluded in the planning process and lack of accountability among urban institutions and coordination among agencies are important issues. Emerging initiatives in India towards inclusive city includes decentralization below the town hall, what is seen in Mizoram local councils, ward committees in Bengaluru, etc. Downward accountability, citizen charter, e-governance and elected leaders among our cities, mission oriented infrastructure under Government of India mission and access to services, separate livelihood mission, that is National Urban Livelihood Mission, to cater to poor for services, infrastructure, finance and marketing, focus on aspirational districts by planning commission and new normal emerging to focus on MSMEs and spatial dispersal of economic activity in different parts of the country to correct regional imbalance are seen as important actions towards inclusive city. In 2012, India had 10% of global middle class at number 3 in the series, but by 2030, India is expected to be on the top with 18% middle class, followed by China and US. But by 2030, 27% of Indians will cover only 4% of national consumption, which means that further efforts are needed towards inclusive city to include, to strengthen households to be able to live a decent life. Schemes and programs of Government of India towards inclusive city are Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for housing, AMRUT and Smart Cities for infrastructure and services, Swachh Bharat Mission for sanitation, National Urban Livelihood Mission for urban poor, and Hriday, that is development of heritage towns in terms of infrastructure and livelihood. Government of India is also developing Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. Like this, there are 5 other corridors and several corridors are taken up by states also. And these corridors intend to develop small settlements in terms of manufacturing and services. The promotion of these two components in the economy will promote regional balance and will also cover census towns which are urban but still do not have city government. Census towns will also benefit out of the corridor development schemes. Finally, inclusive city is inevitable for national development. Urban exclusion needs to be attended, needs to be understood for planning and governance purposes. Horizontal and vertical equity in services, income and environment promotion is required. Externalities of infrastructure pave way for inclusive planning. Spatial dispersal of economic activity, including promotion of census towns, small towns and other medium-sized towns in terms of infrastructure, livelihood, environmental facilities, etc. are the need of hour. Thank you.